Okay, welcome to Reading and Phonics. This is an important video because we're going to practice some of the things that are important for you guys coming up with your reading skills. So pay attention and let's get going. Okay, so let's first do our words. I love this story. I think it's a fun one. So one of the characters in the story Jack and the Beanstalk is an ogre. An ogre is a giant or monster in a fairy tale. What's the new word for a giant or a monster in a fairy tale? Say it with me. Ogre. The ogre got mad at Jack. Magic is the skill of performing tricks that seem to be impossible. What's the new amazing word for performing tricks that seem to be impossible? Magic. The magic beans grew into a tall beanstalk. A fairy tale is a story that's just made up, maybe not necessarily or not true. Some of the fairy tales have magic in them. So we're going to be reading the story in a couple days about Jack and the Beanstalk, and you'll hear the word magic and ogre and beanstalk that we learned yesterday and lad that we learned yesterday too. Now with those 4 words, I'm going to say the word. I want you to tell me the beginning sound, okay? It's just the beginning, the first sound you hear. So what's the first sound you hear in beanstalk? B. How about magic? How about ogre? Oh. And the last one, lad. Oh. So when we do our test in a couple of days, they're going to ask you, okay, what's the beginning sound in rainbow? And you'll say, so just the first sound that you hear. But then, also you might get asked a question like this. They'll say, tell me all the sounds you hear. And when they say all the sounds, they're talking about when we do this, right? So if they say, tell me all the sounds in pat, you would say p-at. Tell me all the sounds in sit, s-it. Tell me all the sounds in can, k-a-n. Some words only have 2 sounds. Listen to this. Tell me all the sounds in zoo, z-oo. I think we talked about that yesterday, right? So you can practice things like that at home. You can say, the word heart, art, heart, right? I'm going to do a couple, and I just want you to do them by yourself, okay? Just to see if you can practice doing it by yourself. Ready? Tell me all the sounds in rat. Tell me all the sounds in mad. Tell me all the sounds in pick. How about gym? Okay. Let's take a quick pause so we can do our letters and sounds. I have the letters and sounds video linked up above in the website, the little canvas thing, and you should be doing it every day, okay? Because the letters and sounds are important. Helps you learn how to read, because if you see the letter, you'll know what sound to make, okay? So let's do it together in this video today. Ready? A says A and A. You do the actions, okay? B says B. C says K. D says D. E says E and E. F says F. G says G. H says H. I says I and I. J says J. K says K. L says L. M says N says O says O and P says P. Q says Qu. R says S says S. T says T. U says U and V says V. W says W. X says X. Y says Y. Z says Z. We had a hard time yesterday because there's 2 letters that we kept getting mixed up, okay? U says like up or umbrella. Y says yeah. It's confusing, right? Because Y, sometimes we think it's a w sound, but this is a yeah. Think yo-yo. Think yes, yeah. And then the U, think umbrella. Okay, here's an example of why the letters and sounds are so important, because we're starting to talk about nonsense words, and I think there's a couple people that are watching this video today that might not have been doing the videos yesterday or before. Like today's maybe their first day. So let me explain nonsense words really quickly. Nonsense words are words that don't make sense. They're silly words. They don't mean the same. They don't mean anything because they're just a made-up word. So the point is that if I write a nonsense word like this, you would still be able to read it because you know the letters and sounds. Okay, watch this. J, a, p, jup. It's not a word, right? It's nonsense. It's silly. But you say each sound, and then you blend it, meaning you say all the sounds fast, and it becomes a word, even if it's a nonsense word. Ready? Z, a, t, zat. Nonsense. When you do this on your test in a couple days or weeks, I don't know when it is exactly, but when you do this, if you say just the sounds, you'll still do great on your test, okay? So you just say the sounds out loud. Ready? B, e, p. And then you blend it together. Bep. B, e, p. Bep. Right? I'm trying to think of, let's see. I have to think of nonsense words, which is kind of tricky sometimes. Okay, ready? K, I, g, kig. That's not a real word, right? So we're just practicing saying the sounds and then blending them together. We're gonna practice these on the Zoom on Thursday, so if you could be there, that'd be awesome because we can practice them together. All right, real quick, let's do our sight words and then we'll be done. Ready? Have, am, I, to, little, the, he, for, my, is, we, like. Next week we're gonna learn 3 new sight words. So I want you to make sure you're doing your letters and sounds, practice your sight words. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for doing your best work at home. Talk to you soon.